It really now does feel like Meghan Markle wants to destroy every aspect of Prince Harry's life, even when it comes to his charity work. I am, of course, talking about this extraordinary row between the Sentebale board. We're going to take you through all of it, but the first thing I want you to know is about this very accomplished woman, the chair, Sophie Chandauka, who I think is clearly going to be the first person to call Prince Harry out for who he really is. Her statement is extraordinary. It reads, "There are people in this world who behave as though they are above the law and mistreat people, and then play the victim card and use the very press they disdain to harm people who have the courage to challenge their conduct. Beneath all the victim narrative and fiction that has been syndicated to press is a story of a woman who dared to blow the whistle about issues of poor governance, weak executive management, abuse of power, bullying, harassment, misogyny, misogynoir, and the cover-up that ensued. She isn't messing around." And I just want to give you a reminder of Sophie and the issues that she had with a certain Meghan, which you probably remember blew into the public consciousness during an awards presentation after the Sentebale charity polo event, where Meghan made it very clear that she wanted to call the shots with this woman and she wanted Harry to have nothing to do with her. And as Harry's grey suit posted out, the woman that Markle is giving orders to in this video is Dr. Sophie Chandauka. She is the whistleblower exposing Harry's Sentebale charity of allegedly covering up abuse of power, bullying, harassment, and misogyny. Big thank you to this brave woman.
All right, folks, buckle up. Prince Harry's charity Sentebale is at the center of a massive scandal, and this time Meghan Markle's name is being dragged into the drama too. And the woman calling them out? None other than Dr. Sophie Chandauka, the chair of Sentebale, who is not backing down.
P. Diner, royal YouTube sensation with me now. Whoa. It looks like finally Harry and Meghan may have messed with the wrong woman. What do you know about this growing scandal?
I was so in shock when I read her statement, and at the same time so excited, and finally someone is calling him out. I can only imagine all of the back and forth that has gone on behind the scenes for months now. And finally it has come to a head where things are being said, and I am so excited to hear this. I think Harry has truly met his match, and Meghan as well. I mean, we all saw what she tried to do. I mean, to think that you had the audacity to try to order a woman around. I mean, this woman is so highly educated and so on top of her game that, you know, Meghan just feels like she can just boss people around. And I could only imagine that is symbolic to what we don't see. You know, I think that speaks volumes to how Meghan and Harry, for that matter, feel about this woman. I think that she's had enough. She's had enough of being told what to do, being bossed around, when she knows that lines have been crossed, and she wants to set the tone for what has happened in this eloquently written statement that she has made. And I think it's going to definitely now be a game changer in terms of Harry and his charity work moving forward. I think it's not just this charity. I think it's other things that have been happening with Travelist, things that have been happening with Meghan and Archwell Foundation. It's very symbolic because this was the first work that Harry started in terms of his charity work. All the other things have come later. So to me, I think it could set the foundation for other things happening later with the other works of charity that Harry is doing, and Meghan, for that matter.
Well,
It's
indeed.
a big one.
And can we just say that Sophie Chandauka is, as Marie puts it, one smart, accomplished woman. She says her CV is outstanding. I mean, Look, she's the executive chair, co-founder of Nandi Life Sciences, a US-based company creation vehicle with a portfolio of companies that have collectively raised over $50 million since 2023. A corporate finance attorney with a 20-year global executive career. She has received numerous industry awards. So if you're comparing her business acumen to that of Prince Harry, then there really is no comparison. And what's interesting is that Harry has always, P. Dinah, tried to present himself as holier than thou, when actually he is the only member of the royal family who has actually been proven on the record multiple times as a racist. And the Salty Duchess actually put together a whole load of these examples saying, look, like we've found the real royal racist. And it is interesting, isn't it, Pete Dinah? It's almost as if Harry believes his relationship with Meghan Markle gives him full protection from not just his current actions, but all of his past behavior. Harry the Nazi. Prince Harry called a fellow soldier his little P-word friend. Harry told me, "You don't sound black," to a comic. The Taliban retaliated for Prince Harry compares fighting to a video game. Prince Harry apologizes over racist video. So actually, perhaps now he's going to understand that simply because he's in a relationship with Meghan Markle, it doesn't mean that his conduct is above reproach, especially given he's so often the one to throw these types of accusations at others.
This is huge. Dr. Sophie is exposing what she claims is a toxic culture within Harry's beloved charity, citing bullying, abuse of power, and harassment. And let's be real. If someone is willing to call out Prince Harry and Meghan Markle this publicly, you know they've had enough. For years we've seen Meghan and Harry position themselves as victims. But now, the real victims might be the people who worked with them. Now here's where it gets even more suspicious. This isn't the first time Meghan and Dr. Sophie have clashed. In fact, we all saw the tension at that infamous polo charity event where Meghan seemed to be giving orders and making sure Harry had nothing to do with Sophie. Sound familiar? Let's be real. Meghan has a pattern. We've seen her reportedly push away Harry's closest friends, cut ties with people she doesn't control, and now, a powerful, successful woman in Harry's circle is suddenly calling them out? The timing is too perfect.
Yeah, and I think also Meghan doesn't even come off as a Black woman, so I don't even think he gets an out there. I mean, Harry has just put himself in a position to be exposed for who he really is by a woman who is just going to not take it and make things known to the world. I think it's so much deeper than what we're even able to see. This is extraordinary what has happened. I think that Harry, like what she was saying, always wants to play the victim. And that's what we've seen with Harry and Meghan. They've come to play themselves as the victims while doing all these things behind the scenes that are not good. They're not good people. And now it's coming to a head. And I'm so excited to hear her say these things. I can only imagine what's going to happen now moving forward. Harry's put himself in a predicament because he cannot cover up his misdeeds no longer. He is going to be revealed for the man that he really is, and she has seen it all behind the scenes, and now we're getting a little peek into that, and it's going to get so much deeper than what we're able to see now. Dan, I believe it's really bad what this man has done, because I mean, think about her having to do what she's done, them asking her to step down, and she says no, goes to sue to stay there in the company and on the charities board. And I mean, this woman is taking a strong stance that she is not going to take it anymore, what has happened. And how does Harry even step down as the founder? Like, that part I don't even understand, So there's a lot going on here that we haven't seen.
Rebecca English, the royal editor of the Daily Mail, has a fascinating piece out on this, which is headline: Sentebale was Harry's way to prove he was more than a playboy prince, as I saw when I visited with him, but there were clues things weren't right. And she says this will be a humiliating setback. And within her article, she says he had always been obsessed by what people were saying about him, and this time was no different. And she said, sad but not entirely surprising. Although he last visited Lesotho in October 2024, it was actually the first time the prince had actually been there for 6 years. Even his regular fundraising events for the charity, mostly involving polo, had notably slowed down. And he said she said he also hadn't taken his wife Meghan to visit, and said they have focused their efforts since quitting royal duties on high-profile joint tours to Colombia and Nigeria, as well as their lives as professional victims of the royal family.
Yeah, they wanted to bring their fundraising efforts to California, and I forget where the other place was, and their charity had slowed down, right? So trying to do the work of this charity in California in another country is ridiculous. You need to be where the charity is to focus your fundraising efforts. And also, there was some talk about Harry having money from the charity donated to his travel list. Had you heard about that? That was also, I think that might have something to do with it, because that's illegal. You can't do, the travel list is a for-profit company. So there's a lot of shadiness that has happened with Harry, what he's been trying to do since leaving. And she sees everything. This woman knows her numbers, and she's bringing out all the proof of everything that has happened since. I mean, you just can't mess around with charities like this. You have to be so on top of it. If anything, you need to be listening to this woman, because she knows what she's talking about. She has the career to show it. And when you're someone like Harry, you don't want to hear it. You want to do what you want to do. And I bet you more than anything, Meghan has got her hands in some of that as well in California. You know she does. And so when Meghan couldn't get what she wanted, Harry can't seem to get what he wants to get. He crossed the line to a woman that's going to not take it anymore for what he's trying to do.
Honestly, this whole situation screams jealousy and control. And now that Meghan's influence over the charity isn't going her way, it's all blowing up in their faces. Now let's talk about the real bombshell. Dr. Sophie claims there was a cover-up. She's saying Sentebale engaged in weak leadership, poor governance, and even tried to hide misconduct. And guess what? Meghan and Harry were at the center of it all. For two people who love to claim they're all about transparency and justice, this looks really bad.
Because she knows it's illegal and she can get in trouble. At the end of the day, Harry could throw her under a bus, so he's not going to listen, and do things that she's recommending. If he wants to do something, he's going to do it. He's always been in that position to get what he wants. But this woman knows she'll be thrown under a bus at a heartbeat, if she does something illegal. And then she's the one in trouble, going to jail and prison. And this is how she's going to stop that from happening, by calling it out and telling, hey, this is what you've done. You've played the victim. You're somebody who is not going to get over with what you're trying to portray to the press. She's seen it all. And now she's no more. We're stopping this. And this is going to get really ugly. Very ugly, I think.
Of course. And of course it's to do with Meghan. And can we just talk about this from a straight jealousy point of view, P. Dinah? Clearly Meghan was very threatened by this woman, right? Because here she is, a black, successful businesswoman who has actually helped to change the world, clearly had some type of connection with Prince Harry, and we saw in that video that Meghan wanted to lay down the law and say, get the hell away from my husband.
Right.
And also, Pete Dinah, let's just be honest about it, because the mainstream media never are on these things. She's very beautiful and clearly Harry's type.
Yeah, I think when it was funny when she to move over, Harry didn't say anything. He was trying to allow room for her to stand next to him, But, Harry always just falls into what Meghan is doing. And that's when, she had to go over and stand next to Meghan. But I just think it's so, I mean, I wonder, Dan, will she even have, or did she even think to have this woman on her podcast talking about very successful
because
women?
This is who should have been on Archetypes. This is who should be in Confessions of a Female Founder. But instead, because of your jealousy, you have gone to war with her. And it says it all.
That's right.
And let's just remember, P. Dinah, This was the charity that Harry set up in 2006 to try and make his mother proud. And she would not be proud with this because, yet again, it's putting ego ahead of what's really important. They have released a statement, by the way, this afternoon, Sentebale, headlined "Led by the Mission." And they say it's the incredible teams on the ground, our staff and local partners who bring our mission to life every day, walking alongside the children and young people we serve. While trustees are key for governance and regulation, and patrons, especially founders, are an honour to have, it's the people in the field who are advancing the work no matter what. In other words, we're going to do this without you, Prince Harry, because this work matters far more than your ego and far more than Meghan Markle's jealousy. But speaking of jealousy, P. Dinah, Meghan forced Gwyneth Paltrow into a big public U-turn overnight. So I'll take you through this. In fact, I think Fee put it best on X when she wrote, in an interview with Vanity Fair last week, Gwyneth said, "I don't know Meghan and Harry. I mean, I've met Meghan, who seems really lovely, but I don't know her at all. Maybe I'll try to get through their security detail and bring them a pie." A few days later, Gwyneth Paltrow got through their security and made the video of Markle sitting at her table eating the pie. Don't tell me the whole thing wasn't contrived and set up weeks ago and we all fell for it. Well, not anymore. The Markle debacle is done. Slightly different take from, according to Taz, who posted, "Gwyneth has shut down the hate. She's taking control of the toxic narrative that really isn't her brand. She shut down trolls and the squad in one fell swoop. It still doesn't change anything and she looks classy for doing so. The other one is still a wannabe." And this is how the extraordinary moment emerged, reposted on Meghan Markle's own Instagram.
Meghan and Harry left the royal family claiming they wanted to do good. But if even their charity is now being exposed for toxicity, what does that say about them? And here's the million-dollar question. Is Harry's reputation at risk? Because if this scandal grows, he might have no choice but to step back. And if that happens, Meghan's influence completely disappears from one of their last big charity connections.
I genuinely do not understand this at all whatsoever. Do you understand this?
So, look, P. Dinah, lots of suggestions that Gwyneth was pressured into this by Ari Emanuel as well. How do you go from saying that you don't know the woman at all and from quite clearly mocking her show With Love, Meghan on Netflix in your Instagram post? How do you go from that to inviting her into your own kitchen? What do you think's going on here?
I think, yeah, this was definitely set up by their agents to squash it. It doesn't make sense. And you know what doesn't make sense is also that she's not even following Meghan's As Ever on Instagram. She's following As Ever New York. Remember, she also followed the As Ever New York when all this came out about Meghan's name change. So all we have here is them trying to take over the narrative to make it sound as if, oh, all is good and all is right in the world. But we're not stupid. We know that is a perpetration and a fraud, which what Gwyneth has done, and it's not legit. It's not a legitimate friendship. Now, if you want to play like it is, okay, let's see you go on her podcast. Let's see you show up at events at her home. Let's really see you dive into what you're trying to play it is, Gwyneth. Because I beg to differ that what you have done is just tried to take over and, shut down people who are being critical. And she was told to do it. I believe Gwyneth was told to do that. And she went along. She doesn't want to come off as someone who is hating. She wants to be very elegant and classy and subtle in her little digs. And this was just another thing that was contrived by their agent. But I don't think it's real at all. It's a complete fakery what she's done, trying to portray yourself as now a friend of Meghan's. We know that a true friendship is going to be more than just panning over and showing as Meghan sitting at your table after you've done things to make it sound like you don't know her, you don't really like her. Yeah, we know what it is. So they have to save face, and that's all that Gwyneth was doing here. She was saving face amongst all the people giving her a hard time about not liking Meghan. We're not fooled by it at all.
But
We're too savvy for this.
but Pete Diner, a lot of people think that this will now damage Gwyneth Paltrow. Nancy
Mhm.
Sidley, for example, of the Sidley twins, Twin Talk, posted Gwyneth kills her empire in one Instagram story. There are more of
Yeah.
us who will never forget what Meghan did to Her Majesty the Queen. I hope it was worth it to piss off your key demographic. And her twin, the equally brilliant Stephanie Sidley, posted P. Diner, Gwyneth Paltrow and Meghan Markle just pulled a Kylie Jenner and Black China. Gwyneth was clearly forced to do this. There's no way she told Vanity Fair that she doesn't know Meghan and then have her in her kitchen. For future reference, Black China sued Kylie Jenner years after this picture. Anything in that?
Mhm. Yeah, so I actually unfollowed Gwyneth after I saw her do that.
Whoa.
I think a lot of people
And we were
will
liking
now.
her for once.
Well,
I was actually like, oh,
yeah,
maybe she's decent.
Here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about one charity. This is about a pattern of Meghan and Harry burning bridges with every organization they touch. First it was the royal family, then Spotify, then Hollywood, and now? Even their own charity is turning against them. And let's be honest, who's left in their corner? They've lost the palace, lost Hollywood, and now they're losing credibility in philanthropy. Once you lose trust in charity work, what's left?
And then she
yeah,
played
but
the
you
game.
can't. Yeah, you can't align yourself with someone like Meghan after what she has done, especially to the late queen, and think that people are going to now forgive you or just make you out to be, oh, you're just trying to be nice to Meghan. No, Meghan has done some very egregious things. So, Gwyneth, if you're going to side with someone like Meghan, you're going to take on all the bad that she has done. You're going to somewhat symbolically say, yeah, it's okay that Meghan has behaved the way she has, and you're going to side with her to show the haters, right? Well, we don't forget. We're not going to forgive Meghan for what she has done. And Gwyneth trying to side now with Meghan on this just shows you that you don't understand the depths of what this woman has done. You should have refused to do anything with Meghan because that is going to be very damaging, I believe, to Gwyneth. I certainly felt it. I was like, oh no, I'm not following her. I don't want nothing to do with this woman. If she's going to try to be like this with Meghan, like tight like that. No, Meghan has a lot of things that she needs to do to come out to ask for forgiveness. She's done a lot of bad things. You just can't swipe over that and act as if nothing has happened. She's done some really bad things, and people are late to the party. They don't understand it. And Gwyneth needs to educate herself about what Meghan has done. You don't know anything? Well, you better get to learn to know what she's done if you're going to try to, have her at your home and say, what are people talking about? Well, you need to learn what they're talking about, Gwyneth. How about you do some research on this woman and what she has done to the royal family? Because that was a big mistake to do what you did. I know I felt it. I was like, oh no, Gwyneth, not gonna have anything to do with
I'm
you.
with you too. I am with you too. And as I say, never been a fan. The last few days, I thought, actually, you know what? She's doing some okay stuff, just like Martha Stewart is doing for calling out Meghan for stealing her one pot pasta recipe. And of course, what this has given P. Diner is the usual suspects, the Sussex squad lunatics, the opportunity to try and claim that what we knew was happening wasn't happening. Like, for example, the worst of them all, Dr. Scholler. Watch this.
I genuinely do not understand this at all whatsoever. Do you understand this?
You know I love pettyology. The pettier, the better. This look on Meghan's face at the end is everything. Whoa, satisfying. You go, girl. Well played, ladies. Say what now, Daily Fail? Gwyneth didn't take down Meghan. Gwyneth and Meghan took down the Daily Fail, and we love to see it. My kind of tea.
God, P. Diner, save me. Save me.
Yeah. Because it's all really about Megan, right? It's all about what she wants. And I think at the end of the day, Gwyneth is going to be the loser in all of this. Megan is not going to bring any goodness to anybody that she tries to align herself with. It's very, I think, selfish of Megan, I think, in a lot of ways to just try to always look out for her own interests. She knows that she's not a good person to I think, be well aligned with. And she needs to try to make up for the bad that she's done. Like, when does it become you trying to just show a little humility for what you have done rather than trying to get over on what you've done to the late queen, what you have done to so many people, your staff, what you have done to so many people, your husband, right? You have no humility in you. You just want to sit there and you want to be so high and mighty about, oh, here I am at the table, because it's all about you, Megan. It's not about really being a good person and doing the right thing. And what's going to happen is she's going to take down everybody with her that aligns with her, because no one is going to forgive Megan for what she has actually done. We don't forget. We understand the kind of person she is. It's like a thumb up to people. Well, how dare you try to tell me that I need to be a better person? Look, I've got these people on my side. You know, it's like she's like throwing her nose up to people, and it's very to us disrespectful.
At some point, Meghan and Harry need to ask themselves, is everyone else the problem or is it them? Because the world is starting to see the truth. So what's the final takeaway here? Meghan and Harry are facing serious accusations, and for once they can't play the victim card. Dr. Sophie Chandauka isn't backing down, and this could be the biggest challenge they've faced yet. The question is, will they finally be held accountable? Or will they find another excuse to avoid the truth?
It's like, show some humility for what you have done. You have done some egregious things to the late queen, the monarch. This is the people's family. And I think people, especially like when, if you don't understand that when you show up to trying to align yourself with Meghan, not really fully understanding what she has done, this woman has done things that is unforgivable. Because think about it. If Meghan has come into your home, has completely insulted your matriarch, done things to your family, and then tries to go brand and market herself to make millions of dollars off of the back of your family, your loved one, how would that make you feel? Because that, my friends, is exactly what Meghan has done. This is why people are feeling the same way, that feeling like she's a horrible person. It's not because of these things that they're seeing, oh, people are just jealous of her. People are just, racist or whatever. No, you have to go back to the beginning where you were not a part of the narrative around that time or talking points. When we saw what Meghan did to the royal family, you weren't there. And that is why people feel this way towards Meghan. And when people like Gwyneth align with Meghan, you kind of are jumping on the bandwagon in agreement with all the bad, because you're helping to, Meghan throw up her nose to people, to the haters, not understanding what she's done to people in the family, the country, the people of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth, and the false allegations around racism, what she's done to Catherine, right? And the king, the people who they're ill. I mean, it goes really
and
deep with this woman.
And we won't forget, Gwyneth. We will not forget.
Right, we won't.
And by the way, the royal family won't forget either. So William, Catherine, they're not going to forget. God, there was one other thing. What do we even call this? Shameful latest scam from Meghan. So she's added her affiliate link, right, to her Instagram page to rip off her followers. And now, P. Dinah, she has added a beauty store. So as if selling her expensive clothes wasn't enough, she now wants to take money away from people buying beauty products or the brands who are selling these products. Shameless.
Oh my goodness. This woman is just really trying to make her money, isn't she? She married a prince. It's like, okay, let me go make this money, because that's all it is. I mean, it's shameful. You went from being a duchess, going out with the late queen on a royal tour to just now selling products. Like anybody could sell products. Anybody could just start a website, do this. You were in such a unique and special position, and it's just really pathetic. It's sad. I'm embarrassed for her. Go make your money. And this is the other thing. Who is her clientele? You think the Sussex Squads are the ones she's selling to? She's not selling to you, Sussex Squad. No, she's not selling to you. This woman doesn't even have you in the line of trying to be aligned with her own fans. You know, she's trying to reach a market that is way more wealthier and not even really her demographic that she's trying to reach. She's trying to get to a different level, you know, and it's just disgusting to watch her do this. It's embarrassing what she's doing, trying to sell and make money off a commission. It's like, what? I mean, where is the wanting to help people? Where is the charity work to make a difference for women and girls? You know, this is what she said when she first came out, right? She wanted to do these things to help young girls and women. This is all about you wanting to do what you want to do and not really aligning yourself with the vision that you said in the beginning.
All right, folks, that's it for today's reaction. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more in-depth commentary, and drop a comment below. Do you think Meghan Markle is jealous of strong women in Harry's circle? Or is this just another media scandal? Let's discuss.